my channel, and I am Akansha Banerjee. Today we will be looking at pipeline hazards, specifically data dependencies in pipeline hazards. That is raw, wow and war data dependencies. So why are we studying this? It is critical for processor efficiency and compiler optimization. We want to increase the speed of execution of a program in a computer. Affects instruction pipelining and out of order execution as well as in order execution as well. Raw affects in order execution. Ensures correct program execution, preserves data integrity. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Okay, now let us try to understand the data dependencies. First, access conflict. As in some of the CPUs, the instructions may take more than one execution cycle. Like multiply takes two cycles for execution stage, whereas addition take only one cycle for execution. So that might create, if there is a add after a multiply and both want to access the ALU for execution stage, that will cause a access conflict, right? Then our pipeline hazards. Hazards means obstruction. Yeah, obstacle to the normal execution. That leads to stalls. Stalls means in every cycle, one instruction should have completed, but it cannot continue in the normal cycle. We have to use extra cycles. And performance degradation. It will take more, the program will take more time to execute the instructions. So we have three types: raw, wow, and war, right? Based on what is the order of read or write instructions. Okay, and this is a core concept in fundamental in computer architecture and parallel processing, with the goal of processing more instructions in less cycles. Right? Yes. So let us look at first raw, read after write dependency. Note this after, what should be the order? Let us change the color. Okay, let us take, it's also not visible. Maybe black. Yeah. So read after write dependency. It's a true dependency. What this means is you're right. You are trying to first write on a register, and in the next instruction you're trying to read from the same register. But what is the problem is, you can, in the register file, the after write, the register should have been updated, but you have not reached the write back stage of the pipeline. Okay, then the old value of the register will be read, so that will be reading to incorrect answers. Your computer processed the program fast, but the answer was wrong as compared to a sequential execution. Then that is not acceptable, right? Right. So this is the definition. Instruction reads resource. Yes. So first you have to write in the register. When the write instruction write back has been done, after that you want to read the value. That is the correct sequence of execution. So let us see this example. Note over here. This is the first instruction, add instruction. Here we are trying to write the value in R1. This can be written as I1, can be written as R1. Okay, let us try to change the color. Let us use black. Let us use blue. This is I1 instruction, and here we are trying to write in R1 value of R2 plus R3, right? Note here we are writing, first we are writing in R1, then same in second instruction following it, we are reading the value of R1 And in R4, in instruction I2, what we are trying to do is R4, we are filling it with R1 minus R5, right? Okay. See, R1 is being written. Next instruction, R1 is being read, right? So this is the raw dependency. Okay. Now prevalence. This is most common type, direct data flow. Yes. Mitigation. How do we remove this? First solution is data forwarding or bypassing. Okay, that we will see in another video. And pipeline stalls or hazards. What we can do is pipeline stalls means till the value of R1 instruction I1 reaches the write back stage. We will not process any other instructions. We will wait. After the write back of I1 has been completed, then only we will start executing I2 from the next cycle, when after which the R1 has been written in the write back stage, right? Okay. In short, I can tell you about data forwarding. What happens? We will look at it in another separate video. It will take time. Okay. So let us stick to the topic today for today. Okay. Next slide. Yes. Let us erase everything on the screen. Okay. Now next is wow dependency or write after write. Okay, first we are trying to write in a register. In the same register, the next instruction is also wanting to write. So in a normal in order program sequence of execution, what should happen is that the second write. Okay, here let us see the example. So in R1 we are trying to multiply in the first instruction, and in I2 we are trying to write the value of addition of R4 and R5, right? In the same R1 we are trying to write, both the instructions are trying to write, but I2 in the program comes after I1, so that means inside R1 only value of R4 plus R5 should remain, because it is overwriting R1, right? But here what happens, this will happen only in out of order execution. Out of order means if for increasing efficiency, your CPU, your compiler, what it has done, it has changed the order of the instructions. So it is executing instructions not following the normal sequence of the program. Then in that case, what can happen? Your first I2 write may be executed, and then I1 will be overwriting value of R1. So now in R1, at the end, R2 into R3 value will be stored. So that will lead to incorrect answers, right? So what is the solution? What we can do is we can rename this R1 register maybe as R7, right? R1 and R7. So they are not overriding each other's values. We can now execute in whatever order we want, right? All right. Oh, this is known as output dependency. Now we will move on to the, let us move on to the next part, that is war, that is write after read dependency, also known as anti dependency. So whatever is coming here, this will be executed first. So we have to read, first instruction will be trying to read, okay, and then after that we are writing in that same instruction. Now if we are executing the instruction out of order, what will happen? First we might write a new value in that register and read the new value which we don't want. We want to read the old value. Okay. See, in this we can see first we are reading from R1 and then writing. Second instruction is trying to write in R1. If I1 is executed first, then R1's, no, if I2 is executed first in out of order execution, then what will happen? We will write R1 with a new value and it will read here a wrong value of R1. Okay. So mitigation, what is the solution for this as well? We can rename the register. We can rename this R1 as maybe R8. So this, what we are writing in R8 will be R5 plus R6, and this R1 value is not getting overwritten. Okay. Oh, yes, let us erase everything and move ahead. Okay, what is the impact and mitigation strategy? Over here we can see that these are the raw dependencies. How many stall cycles were required when there was a raw dependency? We required 3 stall cycles. Okay, and how do we know we require a stall cycle, right? So what are the stages of a instruction execution cycle? Instruction fetch, instruction decode, right, like this, operand fetch, execute, and write back. These are the stages of the pipeline, right? And your I1 instruction, let us talk about raw dependency. That means first we are writing, then we are reading. Okay. Okay, so instruction I1 was in the instruction fetch stage in the first cycle. These are your cycles, okay? First, second, third. Okay, in the next cycle, I1 went to instruction decode and I2 went for instruction fetch. Okay, okay, let us use a separate color. Then in the third cycle, I1 went to operand fetch and I2 is in instruction decode. Okay, what is I1? I1 is a write instruction. That is, maybe we are writing in R1. R2 plus R3. And what is I2? I2 is nothing but a read. We are reading R1 over here. R4, R1 minus maybe R6. Okay. These are the two instructions. Okay. 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 In next, so let us erase this part. Okay. Now I1 in the fourth cycle, it goes to the execution stage. I2 is in the operand fetch stage. Note, now you have to note. In the operand fetch stage, I2 will be trying to fetch the value of R1. Now, at the end of the execution cycle of I1, inside the accumulator register, right? This is your ALU. This is your accumulator register, right? And these are your inputs, right? Operand 1, operand 2. Now, instruction I2, what it is trying? It is trying to get the value of instruction 2. Let us change the color. Okay. Blue only, let us take. Okay. It is trying to fetch the value of I1. This is being trying by the instruction 2. And the value of R1, the updated value of R1 is in the accumulator register. Okay, and this has not been written back in the register file, and it is trying to fetch from the register file which has a old value of R1, correct? So what happened? It read a incorrect value of R1, right? So for that, what we will have to do, this I2 we will have to add a stall cycle, means that we have to remove it from the pipeline and we have to wait till I1 completes its write back cycle, right? So what is the solution? What was that forwarding, right? Data forwarding. Note, the value updated value of R1 is in the accumulator register. If this value only, and it is available at the end of the execution cycle, and I2 requires this updated value of R1 in the beginning of its next cycle, right? At the end of the previous cycle, we have the value of R1. What we can do, we can apply a line and directly feed this accumulator's value in the first operand of the ALU. So in the next cycle, we do have our updated R1 values. So it will result in a correct answer, and we don't have to add stall cycles in this case. Okay. Okay, let us see next. Note over here, for wow and war dependencies, we don't require any stall cycles, because by renaming the registers only, we were getting the correct answers, right? Yes. And our goal is to reduce the number of stall cycles. If number of stall cycles are less, then your code will run faster, and it will increase the instructions per cycle that has been executed. Okay. Yes. Yes. I've answered everything. Now let us move ahead. So what are the real world applications and relevance? Why are we even interested in removing pipeline hazards? So it is important for CPU design. We want to design a CPU that runs fast, that is high performance, like Intel Core AMD Ryzen, right? Then for compiler optimization, compiler optimizes, right, your code to execute faster and more efficiently. In parallel computing also, we try to understand if we are executing something out of order, we are multitasking, right? But by doing that multitasking, you are getting a slower program, as well as you are getting an incorrect answer. So to understand the performance and correctness of the output in parallel computing, we study the data hazards. And for understanding core concepts like superscalar out of order execution CPUs, we study this concept. Okay. Now the final conclusion, data flow, raw, wow and war are foundational to modern processor design. Okay. Effective handling ensures correct execution and maximizes throughput, right? Throughput is nothing but in a 1 second or 1 unit of time, how many instructions are executed. Okay. And it can be used for continuous innovative CPUs designs to get to increase the performance even more. Okay. Yes. And okay, before ending, I want to add one more point. Okay. The question might be, in the raw dependencies, it might happen that the dependencies are very far apart. So what are the distance till where this raw dependencies need to be handled that can result in an incorrect answer? Okay. So what I'm asking, let us see with the example sequence of instructions being executed. R1 plus R0. Okay. R4. Let us number this as well. This is I1, R3 star, R2. This is I2, R6, R5 minus R4. This is R3. Then R6, R7 plus R8. This is I4, R7, I1 times R2. This is your I5, R1, R3 minus R. Okay. This is your I6. Okay. So note how many raw dependencies are there in this sequence of instruction execution. Note. So in raw, first write should happen, right? So in here R2 we are writing the value and here we are reading. So this has a raw dependency, right? Anywhere else R2 is having a raw dependencies, note over here as well with I5 and I1 we do have another raw dependency, right? Over here. But my question is, we do have a raw dependency, data dependency from I1 to I5. But will this dependency result in a incorrect answer during execution? Do we have to handle this I1 and I5 data dependency separately? Okay, is it even relevant over here between I1 and I5? Okay, note if R2, the write back stage completes, then after between I1 and I5, uh, we don't have to handle this data dependencies because R2 has already been written the new value and not no other instruction is writing again in R2, right? No other instruction is writing again in R2. So we don't have to handle over here. It is very far apart. By this time, I5 is trying to fetch its operand. By that time, R2's write back will already be completed. Correct? We saw over there. Only one extra cycle was required, right? Oh, acha, we deleted, right? Okay. We will write it in another page. Okay. Instruction fetch, decode, open fetch, then execute and write back. So I1, first we'll write about I1. Okay, this is your first cycle. This is your first cycle, your second cycle, your third cycle, your fourth cycle, and your fifth cycle. In 5 cycles, we are completing the write back stage of instruction I1. And when will your I5 instruction reach the operand fetch stage? Let's see. We'll go back. Okay. I5, right? Okay. This is I1 with that I2 will be executing over here. Then I3, then I4, then I5. I5 will start its instruction fetch in the 5th cycle. So this is not even relevant over here because write back has already been completed for I1. I5 will get the updated value in operand fetch stage. So no need to handle over here. Okay. And one more example I want to share with you. Okay. You have to tell me how many raw dependencies are there in the sequence of instructions. This is our I1. Okay. R1, R6, instruction R2, R1, R9 into R8, R3, R7, R1 plus R5. This is our I. Okay. Okay. Let us see. Raw means first we have to see the write then read, then again write, then read. Now my question is, between I1 and I4, is there a data dependencies? Is this a data dependency? The answer is no. Why is that? R1's value is being updated by R3 and I4 is trying to read the value of R1 that is being updated by I3. So between I1 and I4 there is no raw data dependency. So this dependency is not there. In the previous example, between R2 and I1 and I5 there was a dependency because this R2 was not getting again rewritten by any other instructions. Okay, R2 was reading the same, I5 was reading the same R2 value that was updated by I1. So this is the difference that I wanted to make out. Okay, so thanks for watching, and please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel if you like this video for more videos. Stay tuned. Happy coding. Bye bye.